A GloboNews conversou com exclusividade com um dos conselheiros do gabinete do presidente da Ucrânia, Volodymyr Zelensky. Serhiy Leshchenko afirma que o país só vai negociar um acordo de paz se as tropas russas se retirarem do território ucraniano. A íntegra dessa entrevista de Marcelo Lins, com produção de Renan Brites Peixoto, você confere agora na edição da meia-noite.
A invasão da Rússia à Ucrânia, uma ação não provocada e justificada em cima de bases para lá de questionáveis, completa 2 meses. E para marcar essa data, a GloboNews entrevista com exclusividade o conselheiro do gabinete do presidente ucraniano Volodymyr Zelensky, Serhiy Leshchenko. A produção dessa entrevista é do Renan Brites Peixoto. Do you think it's possible to win this war on the military side of it?
We have no other option, but we have to win this war because we are on our territory. We did not occupy any square meter of territory of another countries. This is a war when aggressor Russian army came to occupy our land and to kill Ukrainian citizens. And of course we will resist and we will fight until the victory or until the peaceful agreement is found on the basis which does not against Ukrainian national interests. On the ground, the Ukrainian army is very good. Ukrainian army is very skillful. Ukrainian army is modern. Ukrainian army is able to resist this aggression. Unfortunately, we are not so strong on the air. We cannot stop this attacks from the air by Russian army. And to be able to stop this, to prevent this attacks from the sky, we need anti-aircraft weapons and to implement non-fly zone. Our partners said that unfortunately they cannot make it because they fear that Russia can launch or start the Third World War. But I think I found it nonsense. Russia is not able to launch Third Global War just because Russia was not able to occupy Kiev, our capital.
We know that war is very costly. The cost is very high. First of all, of course, in human lives. And we've witnessed the tragedy of Ukrainian people for these last 2 months. But also, it's costly. The war effort is very, very costly. We know that Russia is financing its war effort, its invasion, with the money coming from its exports of oil and gas, mainly to Western countries. How is Ukraine financing its war effort?
We're able to finance our army, but we're not able to finance our budget for 100% because of lack of economic activity, because part of our country is occupied, part of our economy is not working. And in these circumstances, we call global leaders to help us with special Marshall Plan, which could be like a role model from after Second World War Marshall Plan for countries destroyed in Second World War. And we believe that world will help us because Ukraine is always ready to help countries in troubles. And when there are some humanitarian catastrophes, Ukraine always provides support for these nations, like it happened in Turkey, in Italy, in other countries last few years. So, in this situation, I agree that we should be supported more. Let's say this way, we very much appreciate all help provided to Ukraine. At the same time, it's never enough. I cannot say it's now enough. We don't need more money. We still need more money to re-establish our economy in this new situation. It's not possible for us to export our corn, our wheat, our sunflower oil through our ports. And in this situation, also, by the way, iron ore and metals and coal, our main ports now under the threat of Russian attacks. And it will have impact not only on our economy, but on the global food markets, especially in not so rich countries like MENA region, Middle East, North Africa, even maybe some Latin American countries in Africa.
Sometimes to end the war, it's some difficult choice must be made. We've seen this in lots of parts of the world. We've seen this in different conflicts. Do you think that Ukraine is willing to negotiate any parts of its sovereignty, any parts of its territory, in order to reach peace with Russia and save more civilian lives? Or do you think that this is totally out of question, you won't even discuss it?
I can say what is our official position, that we believe that the only way to have peace negotiation finished and the agreement found is when Ukraine starts to control the territory which we controlled before war started. So all Russian troops have to leave our territory, and this is our condition for peace talks and peace agreement. Ukraine is ready for different compromises, but not the compromise on our territorial integrity. So we can discuss different topics like our neutrality, special guarantees for Ukraine, achieved agreement with another global leaders, to have special status of nation which after the war has to be secured by global leaders. Cities like Bucha or Borodyanka, these very unusual names maybe for your audience, but now this is the global brands of massacre. And what I saw there, that Russia was really eager to attack Kiev, because even now, after 1 month of liberation of this airport, after 1 month of liberation Bucha, there are so many Russian military cars present on the ground still.
What's your biggest worry in the near future? And also, where do you put your hopes for Ukrainian future as well?
We are very much worried about this special operation of Russia on our eastern part, with the idea to occupy that territories which they declared as independent, and plus some territories on the south of Ukraine, which is our agricultural breadbasket and also way for our goods to be delivered all over the world through our ports. So they will continue this aggression, and we have to destroy these plans by defending our territory. Plus, you asked me about hope. We have no plan B in this war. When the war started, no one believed that we would be able to resist this aggression, not for 2 months, but for 2 days. Because we are not fighting just for Ukraine, we are fighting for democracy, for the global order. Idea of Putin is not occupy Ukraine. This is one of the initial ideas, but another idea of Putin is to destroy global order, which we have after 1945, after the death of Hitler and the end of Second World War. He and his army, they are responsible for all war crimes happened in Ukraine, like raping of women, like killing of civilians, like destroying of our schools, kindergartens, clinics, and multi-story apartment buildings. When they destroyed these buildings, creating some kind of a, I call it, Arc of Triumph of Putin. This is a building like 10, 15 stories tall, and after the bombing they have this gap in the middle of building. It looks horrible. We want to live in peaceful surrounding. We don't want to have war anymore. We don't want to be global battlefield between different countries. We want to be examples for the world, how one nation, which is not the richest, but because of the very strong people, with a very strong mindset of these people, very strong motivation to defend the territory, we were able to defend us from nuclear power state. There is no happiness in the world if there is some very unhappy nations who have to resist the aggression of nuclear power.